Welcome to the deep dive. We all face those moments, right? Having to choose between different options, especially when there are potential risks and costs involved.
Absolutely. Like booking travel, it's often more complicated than just grabbing the cheapest ticket you see.
Exactly, that initial price. It rarely tells the whole story. You need a way to sort of see beyond that.
And that's what we're digging into today. There's this really practical tool for decision making under uncertainty, and we're drawing some insights here from Project Management for Project Managers by Orlando Casabon.
Right, so let's set up a scenario. Imagine you're booking a crucial business trip. You've got two options, Flight A and Flight B.
Okay, both get you there.
Both get you there.
Huh?
But, and this is key, they have different ticket prices and different chances of a major delay. Let's say a delay would cost your business a hefty €4,000.
Ouch. Okay, so what are the specifics for Flight A?
Right, Flight A costs €900 upfront, and there's a 10% probability of hitting that €4,000 delay cost.
Okay, 10% chance of a 4,000 hit. So the expected cost from the delay alone for Flight A is what, 10% of 4,000?
Which is 400, yep.
Right, 400. So to get let's call it the total expected cost for Flight A, we add that 400 risk cost to the ticket price.
The 900 ticket price. So 900 plus 400, that's 1,300.
Exactly. That's the expected monetary value, the EMV for Flight A. It's basically the ticket price plus the weighted risk cost. 1,300 total expected cost.
Got it. Now, Flight B, this is probably the one that catches your eye initially, right? Lower price tag.
Almost certainly. Flight B is much cheaper upfront, just $300 for the ticket.
There's always a but.
There is. The risk is higher. Flight B has a 30% chance of that same €4,000 delay. Significantly higher probability.
Okay, 30% chance. So if we do the math again, 30% of $4,000, that's €1,200 for the expected delay cost with Flight B.
Correct. 1,200 is the weighted risk. Now add that to the ticket price.
So 300 for the ticket plus that 1,200 expected delay cost gives us 1,500 total EMV for Flight B.
1,500 it is.
Okay, hold on. So Flight B looked way cheaper at €300, but its total expected cost, its EMV, is 1,500. While Flight A, which cost €900 upfront, has a lower total expected cost of 1,300.
That's the core insight right there. The initial price isn't the deciding factor when risk is involved. Flight B is temptingly cheap, yeah, but that higher probability of a very expensive delay makes it overall the riskier financial bet.
So Flight A, despite costing more initially, is actually the smarter financial choice based on this expected monetary value.
Right.
You're essentially paying more upfront for lower risk.
Precisely. You're mitigating the potential for that much larger €4,000 hit down the line. The EMV calculation makes that trade-off really clear.
So the big lesson here for you listening is really about looking past that sticker price. You have to consider the what-ifs.
Yeah, what's the chance something goes wrong and what's the financial impact if it does? EMV gives you a rational framework to quantify that.
It moves you away from just gut feeling or simply picking the cheapest option right now.
It really forces a kind of financial discipline onto the decision, weighing the probabilities and costs in a concrete way.
So wrapping this up, when you're making choices, especially where potential downsides exist, you absolutely need to factor in the likelihood and the impact of those risks. EMV is one solid way to do that.
And in our flight example, it clearly points to Flight A, with its lower total EMV of 1,300 as the better strategic choice, even with the higher initial cost.
If you find this kind of thinking useful and want to explore more tools for making strategic decisions under uncertainty, especially in project management, we definitely recommend checking out the book, Project Management for Project Managers by Orlando Casabon.
Yeah, it's got some great frameworks, and it leaves you with a good question to ponder, doesn't it? How can you apply this kind of thinking, weighing risks, probabilities, impacts to other decisions you face? Maybe at work, maybe even personally. It's a powerful lens.